mentally AWOL. From hoping this J fall to hoping this case stall. Great sprawl, consequence bigger, mama don't pray small. For this trigger face malls, hoping Dr. Dre calls. Face flaw, real niggas buried by fake frauds. Niggas used to break jaws, now niggas just make blogs. Drake calls, niggas snitching and singing for more life. Younger let me double tap that ass, I get them more likes. Foresight, store heights, build money I swore twice. Far cry dreaming your name lit up in tour lights. Poor white think darkness with my shrink charts. See myself a Caesar, each one of his black ink marks. Think smart when that thing spark is reflex.
What's
Hey. Okay. Joe Ma. I like that.
Happy New Year.
It was good.
I see.
Hey,
you gotta
man.
get me to sing on that track.
Oh yeah, you try, man. You can sing on whatever. You already know. I've been trying to get
Happy
you on the track.
2018.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy
New Year, Happy New Year, to all you
Year.
mamas
Happy
out
New
there.
Year.
You know what I'm saying? We about to come
Absolutely.
hard on y'all though for the New Year. We ain't playing with y'all. We about to offend some people. I can feel it. You know what I'm saying? But
Let me tell you something.
what's good? Holla.
I don't think you're gonna. I think everyone has a right to their own opinion.
True. Go ahead. Be liberal.
Here we
Play
go.
the politics. Play the politics.
Starting
Play the
already.
politics, E. Play the politics.
We
Look.
shouldn't be so sensitive because everybody has a right to feel the way they want to feel. Everybody has a right to express their feelings
True.
and how they feel.
True, church.
Basically, that's all I have to say.
Church.
So you do what you got to do tonight.
Well, so what's up, man? How y'all
Here we
feeling?
go.
Besides, I
Cool,
guess everybody
Hunter.
feeling good, honey. You feeling good out
The
here?
first lady.
That was a
Cool,
really
honey.
good disclaimer, by the way.
Yeah, it was. She really
You
made
see how
people-
she just come in, don't even do the pre-meeting.
I know.
I had to
Just
slide
come
that
in
Just come.
I had to
and
slide-
just
Showing
fit right
love
in like
and
a
all
puzzle.
that.
Because some people are going to be upset tonight.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, I
Some
like
people
that.
are going to feel rejoiceful. I
Yeah,
don't know.
and we want
It's
you
gonna
to
be
call
very
up. We want you to
controversial.
call up. Hey, yeah, we let you know now. However you feel, you call up. The number is 202-652-0708. Holler if you dare.
If you
know
want
what
to
I'm
cuss
saying?
somebody out,
Hey, or you want to get cussed out, please holler. But
give us your opinion.
Or if you know, or if you want to learn something, because I'm still
Yeah.
learning
That's
about
true.
the subject
Exactly.
we're talking about.
We all should
Yep.
be.
That's
with
true.
a topic
Feed
that's
your
true.
knowledge.
That's deep.
that we have
Feed us your
tonight.
knowledge, callers.
So without further ado, let's get it popping. We going at spirituality versus religion.
Wow.
And we going at it with no holds bars. What's that? Anybody want to start? Anybody want to start with their personal beliefs? Anybody wanna start with that?
I want to piggyback off of what E said.
Okay,
I mean,
please
let's
do.
make sure the conversation is respectful.
Always.
And it's interjected with understanding of, other people's perspectives
Okay.
based on knowledge and information
That's
and
real.
all of the different things that lead and have led people to what they think and believe about religion and spirituality.
That's real.
I have some other things to say too, but that's where we going first.
Oh,
All right.
God.
Well,
That's my disclaimer, I should say.
Yeah.
But where we start this conversation, I mean, it's a lot of ways to start it.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, I mean, I think let's start it here. Let's
Mm-hmm.
start it with it being such a touchy topic. Let's start with one of the circles I have is the LGBTQ, and I promoted this earlier in regards to where does that demographic of people and human beings fit into religion, spirituality, in between. I know Tia has made some or created some sentiments about some things, in regards to homosexuality in the Christian church. I mean, we can go there first if you want. It doesn't matter
That
to
would
me.
be great.
What's up? Go there. What's up?
I feel like LGBT fits into spirituality, but not into religion.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to speak on that.
Yeah, you got to indulge a little deeper.
Because religion teaches, especially Christianity,
Mm-hmm.
that LGBT is abomination.
True.
You're not supposed to have sex with the same person, the
Verbatim.
same sex.
Verbatim.
And God purposely ordained woman for man. So you should only be sexual with the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
I love a
So
man.
it kind of confuses, it not even confuses me, it's mind-boggling to me that there are full-blown churches, aka institutions,
Whatever you want to call
that
it. AKA cult.
cater to gay and homosexuality. Like, how do you preach and teach
Yeah.
homosexuality at a gay church when the Bible speaks against it? So, like, do you skip over that part
You got
in the
to.
Bible?
Yeah,
or
well-
how do you justify?
Well, my question is,
So the spirituality is simply when you follow your heart.
That's not really accurate. That's not really accurate.
But let her speak, because
Okay.
But even
everybody
then,
on Crown
it's
360 is
encouraged
not
to
going to
listen.
agree to tonight, people.
It's encouraged to listen to your intuition. I mean, that's more of a spiritual, like free within yourself.
to a degree.
I mean, you understand? Like religion is something that you practice. Like you go to church, you study Christianity, da 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 da.
You study.
Well,
I don't think you really study. I don't think most people
So you-
in Christianity is
I mean,
studying.
no,
that.
I'm
they
asking.
should.
Okay.
They're taught
I-
to,
that's
but
what
they
I'm trying to
don't.
figure
I don't
out
even
where.
know if they really taught to.
And,
That's a whole nother discussion.
Not true.
Yeah.
Well, there
No,
it
it's
is
not. It's
true
the
because
same
that's why you have
discussion.
Bible
Yeah,
studies.
you're
So
right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But not. But
Um,
okay,
so-
go ahead, please. Enlighten me.
Spirituality is I mean, you're free within yourself. You're non-judgmental. You're, I mean,
I agree
it
with
speaks
that.
for itself. Spiritual, free. You know, I mean, you do stuff based on your emotions and your feelings.
But that's
Not
why
really
I say
wrong. That's not true.
homosexuality
That's not true.
In
doesn't
some ways,
belong
yes, it
in
does.
religion. It only
Now you have to expound on your
Goes
point, because you
into
said
spirituality.
you said
rules
the
to there's no rules to
LGBTQ.
spirituality. I mean,
Well, I mean we can discuss that, but let's get to Tia's
Not
point.
really
You said that people in the LGBTQ can't be religious but are more spiritual.
it doesn't make sense
Elaborate.
for them to be religious because religion speaks against their lifestyle. So how do you consider yourself religious if you're homosexual or transgender? Like it doesn't make sense.
Well, I agree with the religious part. I mean, I think from a spiritual standpoint, well, let me say something, right? So where my level of understanding is based on where I've gotten to the point where I am today, God isn't a he or a she or an actual being more so than life, than nature, than the universe. And that's why, oftentimes me and Joe say that women are gods.
Yeah, we do.
But I'm
you talking
I'm
about a
keeping-
specific part of a party.
That's not.
body.
No, hold on,
That's
no,
not
no,
true.
no, no,
That's
no,
not
no,
true.
no, because
No.
the reason I say that is because, based on what I've learned being raised as a Christian, my whole family is Christians. Basically, everybody I know is Christian. I mean, in the DMV as compared to maybe like the area of like Philly, where Philly is more of a Islamic
Yeah.
base of a religion area. Here we base things on the Bible. But 2 points to make. First point is, I look at religion the same way I would look at anything else, being a spiritual person. So if a person, using a sports analogy, if a person studies or understands or is a fan of only one sport, then how can you be a sportscaster? So let's say if football is your favorite sport, and you don't watch basketball, you don't watch hockey, you don't watch tennis, you don't watch any of those things, how can you be a sportscaster or a fan of sports or a sports guy or woman? No, you're just a fan of a particular thing. Like what I've learned is that from my upbringing here is that people don't study religions outside of the one that they're raised on.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
raised on Christianity, how are you a religious person if you don't understand Buddhism or
But-
even different denominations of how the
'Cause you're
Bible
not-
is used?
Yeah, you're not.
But you
religious.
know
You're not
what?
looking at it
Studying
from different perspectives or understanding other religions.
But you know
I
what?
agree with that.
Okay, and I can respect that. Now, where I come in at is where you would with the question, what you talking about? How does the LGBTQ community fit in? I feel like they don't. Not only do they
Right.
not fit in, but I feel like it proves how much religion is bogus. How in my course of living, when I was young, I was brought up very religious, very in Christianity and all that. And I remember the Reverend used to go hard against homosexuality when I was young. They used to be like, "Oh no,"
A lot still do.
Yeah, but it was.
But
was,
they have
it
a
was
whole
way,
choir that's gay.
But yeah, and that still was out there too. You know what I'm saying? But it was way more of a. It was so. understood and nationwide that everybody went against it as to oppose to now you got gay priests and you got gay reverends and gay
first husbands
and all that shit
and second husbands.
But that's because everybody tries to justify what it is that they're doing.
But okay,
I think that's a religious concept.
But that's my question to religious people. If you can sit here and let's say you've been 20 years old, 30 years old, you've been religious all your life, and you sat here and watched your religion basically change before your eyes. It changed. It almost said, okay, we're not even going to talk about this part of this Bible that was supposed to be sacred. Now, because of how the world is, we just going to act like this. Yeah, we're going to accept it. Now, if your Bible and your religion allows that, then how sacred is your religion in the first place? That's where I come in at. I try to get people, I'm not trying to never get nobody off or whatever they feel like makes them a better person. But in my experiences, one thing that I experienced growing up being a Christian and believing all that, is that
you do look like a little Jesus.
Yeah, I wore my dress. I wore the dress. Hey, look. I try to show them what God look like. You feel me? Yeah.
You gotta do that.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that shit. You feel
Lord
me? But like I say, as I grew up Christian, you know what I'm saying? I thought a certain way, but as I grew up, I realized that I was thinking very judgmental, very limited, and I didn't see life as how I see it now, being actually transitioning to being spiritual. And what I like to put out there is most people that say they spiritual is not even really spiritual. They just bammers that don't like going to church. I'm telling you right now, dog.
That's a hell of a point, right there.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
If you're not out here meditating, if you're not out here,
but spiritual is about your own inner happiness.
No.
Yes, it is. This is why people
listen.
consider themselves spiritually, because they can't dedicate themselves to just being uniform, like going to church every Sunday and reading the Bible. It's more of self-happiness. It's more of
your personal
relationship with God. That is what
Isn't that what I said earlier? A lot of people don't consider themselves.
Let me tell you something. I have researched it. Yes, it is.
Because of that.
I have researched it.
Okay,
it is.
But hold on.
You said you researched it.
What?
Spirituality.
But you just used the Bible. You didn't say the Quran. What is spirituality based on the Quran about?
I'm not talking about nobody's Quran.
See, that's my point.
Nah, but
you see what I said earlier when I used the reference of sports? People study one thing.
But spirituality is something free within yourself. That's not
So why did you mention the Bible?
So when you
I did not.
Okay.
I said spirituality
is
happiness within yourself. That's what I said. That's all I said.
So
you're drunk.
But what I'm saying is spirituality is not. It depended on the individual.
Right.
Everybody is not going through a happy ride through this life. Spirituality is about balance, balancing everything that's within you. And and me being I've been brought up, and not just speaking for me, but a lot of black men has brought up. But what I'm saying is, learning about balance, everything has its place, though. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really want to say happiness. I want to say understanding, because sometimes somebody might need their ass whooped, and I might not be happy about whooping their ass. But being spiritual, I understand that there's a time and a place for that. You feel me? And I don't feel guilt off no religion because I might have to whoop somebody's ass. I know where I'm at. I understand what my understanding is about who I am and what gives me balance as a human being.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's what spirituality should be more.
But happiness isn't
it's not
end all be all in regards to spirituality. That's emotion.
Yeah. And that's where religion comes in.
That's more of a religious concept, because religious concepts, based on what I've learned, and I only speak from my perspective, in a conversation like this, is you base things on how you feel, because you're not inquiring information, you're not studying information, you're not seeking information.
We have a question.
Where is that?
The question is from Niche on Instagram.
Hey, Niche.
What up, Niche?
Hey, boo. She says, why do people pinpoint religion to just Christianity?
I just said that.
But
that's what I was saying earlier.
She's right. People do, but I feel like all religion has some specks of the truth, but mostly it's based on control, because, like I say, most people don't understand the true words that they speak. The word religion itself, if you look at the etymology of the word, it means to bind.
Etymology.
So what I'm saying is,
Etymology.
to bind means, what you think they talking about to bind? They talking about that mind.
Mind.
So what
Yeah,
I'm saying
mind.
is, it's putting a limitation on you, whatever religion. I
We
feel
gonna
like,
get the pimping in a second.
yeah, oh yeah. So I feel like, and that's what I feel like with
Preach.
spirituality. I feel like you got a lot of people that claim they spiritual, but they don't really understand what that means. You know what I'm saying? They just know that they not with religion.
Right.
But what I'm trying to tell people is that true spirituality, you gotta have a thirst for knowledge, and there's things that help you get in tune and elevate your chakras. It's things that help you get in tune
So
with.
you using? Go ahead.
Yeah,
go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, but
Intuition.
yeah,
I
it's,
know
it's
about the chakra.
But see,
Right to
that's what I'm saying.
self.
But the Bible is for the layman person. The Bible ain't going to tell you what I'm talking
See,
about.
You're using terms that speak
Me
towards
too,
how
Nish.
religion is flipping spirituality into
Yeah.
a controlling mechanism for humans.
Yeah, talking
You
now.
can't govern
Uh huh.
a large amount of people by a small amount of people without governing or controlling mechanisms. Religion has always been used that
It's a
way.
powerful tool, bro.
Spirituality is different. Spirituality is something that a person can experience and grow with and develop, not necessarily associating themselves with a particular religion.
Okay,
But
so
it's also based on gathering information. It ain't about how you feel.
Yeah.
You can't talk about, I don't want to go to church no more, I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
Nah, that's
bro.
why I went against what you said about happiness. It ain't about feeling good.
Nah.
Because when you're challenging how you were taught and raised,
There's-
I'll use myself for an example.
There's conflict. There's inner
There's
conflict. Yeah.
Like, why
Yeah.
moms or grandmoms or aunts, uncles tell me this.
But I have a
then
question.
Okay. Let's go.
So, based off what you just said,
Mhm.
what would we call people who take different positive points from different religions to live their life? Would we
A
still call them
spiritual person.
religious?
Nah, I mean,
Now, what you mean by different positive points? You have to
I
elaborate.
need
Yeah,
some
you-
callers.
yeah, we
Yeah, niche call in.
202-652-0708. I memorized the
But
number.
I asked that question because Niche said that's why I take spiritual. That's why I say I'm spiritual, because I take different aspects from
Yeah,
different
good old
religions to live life. So
Right,
what
so-
would we
I'm
call
not mad at
people
that.
like
Right,
that?
but-
Would
but-
we
I'm not
still
mad
call
'cause
them
she-
religious?
Nah.
That's,
or
no. That's a person that can be spiritual
Yeah.
because a smart person that's gaining a better understanding of life. See, I think I'll give my perspective.
talking now.
Gaining an understanding of life, a better understanding of things. I could read the book of Proverbs all day, every day. It's the most wise book in the Bible to me because it speaks a lot of knowledge and wisdom in it. That doesn't mean I have to follow Christianity. I seek knowledge in all
And
things.
wisdom. Yeah.
That's why I watch nature all the time.
Yeah.
I don't go to church because I'm not a Christian.
Right.
But I also understand, like people like overlook things. Like, you know what I peep, Joe?
What was that?
Like real quick, so I can let everybody transition into what they want to talk about. It's crazy how within the past decade, Kanye and Jake.
Hold on. We got a caller, my nigga. Let me see what's good.
Let
You
me
gonna
Yo,
answer
call
it?
it. What's called? What's poppin'? Who this?
This is me.
Oh, man, you just said you should have been
Hey,
called.
she hitting up. What's
that's
cracking?
my baby right there.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey,
All
shit,
right, say
what's
what you got to
Gucci?
say, girl.
Yeah, what's up? What you want to say?
Well, me, like, my whole family is Christian. Like,
Sorry
my
to hear
granddad is a preacher. My granddad has a church. All my uncles are preachers. Like, the whole family is Christian. And I've been dealing with girls since I was about 9, 10 years old.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
All right.
So, about when I was, like, 12, you know, like, my parents, they had this little Bible study with me and my brother, and they were talking about, you know, getting baptized and stuff. So, now, looking at it now, I feel as though I was kind of pressured into being baptized because, you know, now we moved out here, and now we're going to my granddad's church, and we want to paint this perfect Christian picture now that we're here. So, you know, I got baptized when I was 12, and, you know, I really didn't know anything about the Bible. Like, the only thing that I was taught at the time was Genesis. So, based off of Genesis, you know, I was led into getting baptized.
Okay.
So, years went on, and, everybody in the church, they started to, realize that I was dealing with girls. And, the questions started rolling in, like, why you never bring a boy around? Why you never have a boyfriend and stuff like that?
Judging your ass.
Right. So, case in point, like, by the time I was, like, 17, 18, I was becoming more verbal. And I was like, you know what?
Fuck
There's
y'all
no
niggas.
point of
My
trying
bad.
to please y'all, because, you feel me, y'all not my family. Like, yes, I mess with girls, and, like, I'm going to bring my girlfriends to church, I'm still this Christian, per se, to y'all, but, like, people started talking, doing a little gossiping and stuff, and, then it turned into, how are you a preacher's granddaughter, and you're homosexual, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But
It was a
how
lot
do
of
you feel-
pressure, right?
But
Right.
how do you- how
It's
do
a
you
lot
feel
of
about that?
pressure. And then, I'm seeing that. So now I'm like 18, 19 and stuff is becoming more clear. So then, I started realizing like it's a lot of preachers in my church and they're preaching these sermons and they're putting the Bible the way that they want to put it. Like,
Yeah.
and I didn't like
Yeah,
that.
that's
So
actually-
it was a gap. Like I stopped coming to church for like a year and a half,
Okay.
And I tried to explain to my mom, like, Mom, I don't like the way stuff is going. Like, it's a lot of hypocrisy going on in church.
Right.
It's a lot of these pastors these preachers, because they don't even like the term pastor in Christianity. Like, it's a lot of these preachers that are preaching these sermons, and they're trying to get people to think like them the way that they want the Bible
As she.
to go, and I didn't like that.
Right.
So,
right.
like, fast forward now, like, I came back and I'm like, the only reason why I'm really coming to church still is because I do it for my family mostly now. Like, I don't, like, my granny's getting old, and I want her, you feel me, to at least see me coming to church before, like, the end.
Right,
But
right.
I'm, like, now I sit in church, and it's like, I'm just so bored. Like, I'm like,
You're just
yo,
going through the motions.
I want to ask
yes,
you a
and it's like,
question.
y'all, like, come on, like, I don't even believe this stuff. Like, how could you even believe what you're preaching to these people?
Right.
And these people are falling for it.
So why even waste your time? Though?
Well, Niche, let me ask you a question. So, something I wrote down in my notes was the concept of heaven and hell. And how does the way you were raised, the way that you transitioned in your sexuality and have grown as a woman, and your experience within the church, how does that transition into how you view the end result of what the religion
Like,
you
me going to heaven or hell?
right,
Yeah,
or do
what's
you
that?
transition out of practicing that religion and gain a different concept? Like
Like, before
where do you go?
it was like, you're going to hell. Like, I'm
Right.
going to hell,
Had to
Like,
accept it.
I was just to the point where it's like, okay, I'm homosexual, and, I smoke, I drink, I do all this stuff. Like, my whole thing was like, I'm doomed already. Like, so, I mean, I don't,
You might as well have fun if you're
right.
going to hell,
But it
right?
wasn't even the point of me just saying I'm having fun. It's just the point of when I'm ready to so-called repent and, change my life and give my life back over to God, per se, I'm going to do it when I'm ready.
Right.
Well, hold
So,
up.
I mean,
Okay.
like, I didn't care. Like, everybody was talking in my ear, like, yeah, you're going to go to hell. Like, and I was just like, okay. Like, when I'm ready, I'm ready.
But who
Right.
are you to judge me?
Right.
but
Well,
when
who
you-
are you to judge
Hold
me
on,
when
hold
you're
on.
talking to your sister next to you about me?
Yeah,
Exactly. But hold on.
exactly.
See, here's the thing, Niche. You say when you're ready, you're ready. But if that's who you are and
Exactly.
that's who life made you, then where's the
Exactly.
mistake been made? See, that's where the inconsistency with religion can come into people that are spiritual. Not we ain't gonna mention scientists yet, but that's
It's like you're getting bullied into changing your life with Christianity, and I don't like that.
And-
but
and-
I can
any
understand
religion-
that.
any
But at
religion,
the
though.
same time, it's always that you ever hear somebody say it's like, well, if I'm doing something wrong, then God will strike me down right now. Like,
Right.
so how is it that you wake up every day, you continue to live, thrive, grow as a woman, grow in your relationship with another woman, but you wrong though? Like, if you were wrong as you may think you are,
It's not gonna happen right away.
what
So
you mean
they
by that?
say.
Agent?
And that's why I really don't get into this religion. You feel me? Because if God per se knows that I'm doing wrong every day, why hasn't He punished me yet?
Because everybody.
Or
does
it may
wrong.
be down the line or something like that. But God, you
where
know,
the
everybody says
tangible
God knows my
punishments
heart,
for the
But
things
you
they've
know?
done wrong.
But you know what? You know what's the crazy part that I'm listening to that's crazy to me is that we as people, especially as us as black people, dog, we accept what we told, and we don't
Exactly.
and we don't search
We don't
for
question
more.
it.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Like all right, you homosexual, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, that's how you living. But the thing about it is, we will listen to people telling us we going to hell and this and that we would accept that instead of us just going and doing research. We got a fucking phone we got a phone on our sides that we can just Google whatever the fuck. But yet we sit there and allow people to sit there and just tell us and we accept this, dog. But what I be saying is, what I would tell you though, Niche, is I would say, man, I would tell you to search for knowledge, dog. And
that's where I'm at now. That's why I'm spiritual now. Like I don't just pinpoint Christianity and stuff like that. Like I'm not even on that because like I researched the Bible for myself and it's a lot of stuff that's contradicting to me and it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm more like on the spiritual wave. Like I'll take different points from baptism, Buddhism, Hinduism. I'll take different points and I'll put that into my life.
Yeah, and you know what? And whatever elevates you, that's what's true to you. And don't let nobody ever change that for you. You feel me?
Because I think Christianity is the most like judgmental.
It is.
Uh-oh.
And coming from it is.
But y'all can only say that because that's y'all personal
study.
experience.
I can't. Like I mean,
That's
I
the
could go
thing.
to a Baptist church and let them know right now I like girls, I smoke, I drink, I do this, and they will accept me with open arms.
Oh, you said a Baptist church?
I mean, any other church, like any other religion, like
But I'm saying
any other religion, I could go
you can't say
and tell them
Islam
that.
because you
Look,
might get
look,
murked.
I'm gonna tell you right now, they gonna hate you. They gonna hate you wherever you go, my nigga. Don't even think that it's just Christianity.
I'm
man.
And then it's different
personally saying, like, it's
denominations,
I got you.
specifically
I got
that,
you,
but
Nisha.
I'm
I got you. I
saying
got
Yeah,
you.
we
I
feel
would
you.
like if I go to morning church and afternoon church. If I go to morning church and the Christian church and tell them exactly what I'm going to tell them at afternoon Baptist church, it's going to be a hell of a lot worse in the Christianity church. I'm going to be getting all them stares all day. People going to be talking about me behind their back. Like,
Yeah.
Nisha, let me ask you a question.
Come on,
So, when you and your woman are, kind of going through the different waves and flows and ebbs of trying to figure out where you all are in between a religious standpoint and a spirituality standpoint, how do you all grow together? I know from a spiritual standpoint, for me, I'm just sharing my personal viewpoint, right? So like I said, I look at love and I said love. I don't want to use too much emotion in this conversation, but I look at
That's what it is.
life, the universe. I actually look at life as God, the universe is God, nature is God, and
That's spiritual.
but one reason why I look at it that way is because I always tell Joe, like, women are gods because women can give life. Men can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. I gotta interject, my nigga. I'm sorry, but women can't do that alone, my nigga.
Hold on. Let me say what I say. Let me say what I say. So it's all a cycle. It's all a balance. So to me, from a spiritual standpoint, what would you base your spirituality on if you don't have a religion that you attach yourself to? What do you?
I
How do
always
you
said
build
if I was to pick a religion, it would be Buddhism.
And
A
why-
lot of people
why is
say that though.
And I have the whole like elephant on my arm and everything because like Buddhism is like really, really borderline spirituality because it's basically just do unto others as you have them do unto you, you know,
But
and that's basically it.
But it's all remixed, dog. It's all a remix. All that shit.
I mean,
is
but
a
how
remix.
much have you researched?
Yeah, it's all a remix.
The religion, like, are you basing it on how you feel or what's convenient for you and your woman, or is it
No,
something
I mean
that you
it's
can
not even
really?
like to the point where it's like convenient for me and my woman because then that's a whole nother subject. That ties to you got to know who you fucking with and y'all communication and y'all maturity level has to be on point. Because I'm not going to argue with my girl over spirituality or religion. It's either we're going to be on the same page or we're going to agree to disagree, and you know
And
that not
respect each other.
alter our relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
But look, Niche, though, we appreciate you calling and everything. You know what I'm saying? Keep showing us love, but we going to get to these other callers
Bye,
we getting. You feel me?
Bye.
I love you.
Yeah, we love you,
Love you
though.
too.
All right, Niche.
All right, so we having a good conversation right now, and I think Niche helped us touch on several things I got on my notes.
Oh gosh.
From understanding to the heaven and hell when it comes to like
I kind of
she spoke about several things. So.
I kind of
That
want
heaven and hell shit is serious.
What you mean?
Like so I'm a preacher's kid. My dad is an elder. My mother used to be a minister.
Elder.
Right. So growing up, I'm 31 now. My parents have never talked to me about sex. The most that they would tell me is that I would go to hell and that I needed to be married first.
Preacher's girls are always the most vicious
That's
freaks.
what make y'all wild.
So the crazy thing was, I lost my virginity 3 days before my 16th birthday.
Ooh.
That sounds about right. That's about,
Yeah.
that's about
So
nothing wrong with that. That's normal.
after I
details.
did that,
Yeah.
I went home and I cried for days.
Oh, that religion is a motherfucker, ain't it?
Days. Like I went home
You saw your home.
immediately.
They better put me down.
That nigga put that work in. She was too young to have that.
Shut
That
up.
shit lasted 7 seconds.
So I went home. I immediately jumped in the
Seconds
shower because I felt dirty.
Wow.
Cleanse your
And
sins.
I felt like, exactly, I felt like
Wow, that's crazy.
all I kept hearing was, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. And even when I like called my best friends, when I got out the shower, I was like, I'm going to hell. Like I had sex before marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hell. Like
I got a
God
question.
doesn't love me. God doesn't like I
You
was
panicking.
dead ass.
You was panicking.
I was dead ass. And it
Good.
took me like a year and a half, almost 2 years to even have sex again. Because I felt
Yeah.
so bad and
Wow, that guilt
so
was a motherfucker.
guilty
But hold up.
for
After
doing
the
that.
fact-
But you know what?
After the fact, why you didn't feel that way before?
Because it was good, nigga. Hey, but hold up. But see, that's what I wanted to piggyback on what I was saying earlier, though. You know what I'm saying? That guilt. And see, all right, let me just share my personal experience, all right? I was brought up, you know what I'm saying? My whole family was pretty much Baptist Christians, you feel me? So I've been to Sunday church. I was a little nigga that Sunday school. But I went to Sunday school. I was in Sunday church. I was a nigga that went and spit the Bible verse like it was the hottest rhyme ever, right? Like I was that guy, you know what I mean? But you know, I remember like I was telling them outside. I remember my cousin had went to Egypt. This is the first time because a lot of people was telling me a lot of things. I wasn't believing it because I was so brought into what my parents told me that I was like, you know, this is the shit right here. You feel me? I ain't gonna go against it. I kill for this shit. So I remember my cousin went to Egypt.
Cursing while he's talking.
Come on now. Look, don't judge me. Don't judge me,
Yeah,
nigga.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But look, so my cousin went to Egypt and she came back and she was telling me how she asked me, "Do you believe in Jesus?" Because I seen some things out there that kind of predated the things that we was told, and I was judging her. I was like, because I was looking at the messenger. I was like, oh man, you ain't shit. Like, of course you would say some shit like this, right? So I hung up the phone thinking like, you don't know nothing, right? Just judging her like shit. And I was telling T outside that I remember I had came across these lost scrolls of the Bible, and like I said, when I started reading them joints, it made me start seeing Jesus in a whole different light, that maybe more less prophet, more human. You know what I'm saying? So when I started seeing that, it kind of made me feel like, damn, I want to know a little bit more about why these scrolls were stolen out of it. Then I started learning about King Henry. Then when I learned how that King Henry, that name that we see on the Bible that say King James, King James version. I said King James was a guy.
Henry was vicious too.
Yeah, true. But King James was a pedophile, was a sexual deviant. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, they would put a pedophile and a sexual deviant on the cover of a book that my people we hold so covetly. You know, everybody grandmother had that old raggedy Bible and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying.
But
so I'm
something
like,
so sacred.
yeah, so I'm thinking like, hold up, man, what's going on? So I said, you know what? I need to learn. I want to learn a little bit more. That right there had sparked something in me that wanted to thirst for more. And when I did that, I started learning things that I didn't know before, and it made me realize how much religion, as far as we know it, being black in America, it's hearsay.
Melanated.
Melanated. It's hearsay. It's we willing to kill and judge and die for something that our parents told us, and they didn't even know what was told to them. They didn't even fully understand what was told to them. You know what I'm saying? But that's when I started realizing what spirituality was, and as far as words that we speaking out the Bible that we judging other people by, we don't even know the meaning of. You know what I'm saying? And we sit back, and when I started seeing that, I started slowly but surely, I started not thinking in black and white, and I started thinking in color. And then I started saying, damn, that's what religion does. It makes us think in black and white, to judge each other, to think limited, to be controlled.
Right, like
you feel me?
Like I said not too long ago, it's like it amazes me how, like melanated people over a holiday that's religious will pray over food that will kill them. Like, how do people pray over chitlins?
Talk that real.
That shit don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So, like I can't. We all kind of came up the same way in a sense in America, because in America it's a Christian country. The constant, consistent perception of other religions is wrong.
Right. It's evil.
You notice from a terroristic standpoint,
it's always Islam.
Or old white dude, but they ain't gonna say that.
No. It's Islam. It's always Islam. ISIS.
Had to give a quick pause when I had to look at my social media on that one. But we talk about Christianity, but we like I guess when my transition came from or disconnecting from religion was not being informed and always wanting knowledge. Like, I've always been stubborn for knowledge. I haven't been stubborn from a standpoint of like Pops used to smoke weed, and he'd tell me not to smoke weed. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. You my provider. You high right now. Like, I got it. You know what I'm saying? But when it came to the information that I was supposed to build my life around, it wasn't based on information. Right. It was based on who told me.
Right.
And what they told me and how they told me. It wasn't about the why or the deeper part. So it's like, we going to church
after that.
Like, I remember when I got to a point where when I was old enough to be growing up in Fort Walsh, we had a split foyer. So I ain't want my room to be by my mother's room. I wanted to have my room downstairs.
Right.
Sneaky ass.
You want to do your own dirt.
I wanted my room downstairs. Well, first of all, yeah, we ain't spill too many beans.
Let's not digress.
But one of the reasons why I wanted my room downstairs had a lock on the door.
Oh, God.
Moms come down that joint on Sunday.
My son has no knob on his door.
Oh, man. She used to try to shake. James, it's time to go to 10 o'clock service. Open this door. I'm just laying on the bed like, man, if she break the door open, she got me.
I used to play sick not to go to church.
If she don't get this door open, I'm going to wake up at 1 o'clock and watch the Redskins play. And she going to be mad as shit. But then my stubbornness continually progressed. That's the only way I got to a point where I'm gonna cover some other things when it gets to being more logical when it comes to spirituality. Like, I've learned a lot of things. Huh? Oh man.
Nah, we started late though. Go ahead with the bullshit.
We good. But I started to learn a lot of things based on stubbornness. Based on not trusting what my grandmother said, my cousin said, my aunt said, my uncle said, my mother said, my father said. And you're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just make sure they talking cash shit. So I'm going to pick up a book. When somebody tell me something like, man, man, I don't need, this, that, woo. I'm a researcher, and that's what led me to getting into a point where I'm more spiritual. It's not based on emotion for me.
Nah.
And I'm always speak towards my path and who I am. That's a point about spirituality that I think is consistent, is that I've learned where there is consistency, there's truth. So when you consistently find something coming up, it's true. So I consistently have found
well, you know
that religion has been used against people to control people,
and
for different reasons.
And the thing I like to ask religious people is, why is it that questioning the religion is so evil to people that are so devout to the belief? You know what I'm saying? Why is it that inquiring more information seems so taboo for those that want to just want to believe. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question.
Here's the thing,
because
Joe.
at the point where I was questioning Christianity,
Mm-hmm.
I felt bad for questioning it.
Yeah.
But
Why?
one thing I want to say about that is people. It's the perception thing, and that's why I have perception written down. Like people will sell you, and that's why I think we're in a dangerous space and point with people right now. Perception trumps everything. People would rather look like a good Christian and not even read the Bible.
Man,
People would
what?
rather look like a good person
What?
and not be that person.
What?
A nigga would rather be. Hold
Stop going
on.
to
He'd
church.
rather be a street dude and be snitching. You'd rather be committed in a relationship. I don't want to digress too much. You rather
And be
sell the perception of things
Yeah.
versus the actuality of things.
Yeah.
To me, spirituality ain't got nothing to do about that. I'm free about who I am.
Yeah.
I can have this conversation
what
with
it is.
anybody.
But you know what it was too?
What's that?
Why I was scared to question it, because again, in religion you're taught don't question God.
Yeah, you are.
That's
So
for a
when
reason.
you question him, it's like ultimate blasphemy.
Yeah, you're doing wrong. And,
Yeah.
and you know what? See, and that's my beef with religion. That's
Pimpin'.
why I'm so like I've been lately. I've been like, okay, with the new year, my new year resolution was stop cussing motherfuckers out that think they doing me some good, talking religious to me. Okay, that's
Good
my
job.
Yeah, I'm trying because my biggest
That was
beef.
your New Year's resolution?
Yeah, because I'm telling you, bro, it's been hard at the end of the year. I've been cussing niggas the fuck out. But what I'm saying is though,
Crazy.
that my biggest beef with religion is that, to me, in my perspective, it's melanated people's first introduction to fear and limited thinking.
We just mentioned that.
And that shit bothers me because I had a personal relationship with fear. You know what I'm saying? With growing up,
all have.
yeah, we all do.
Limiting
But I'm
yourself
honest
to
about my shit. You feel me? But the thing about it is, the very first thing before even bigger than my parents, I was taught to fear Jesus.
Right.
You better fear Jesus. Jesus, you do wrong, Jesus gonna come down and do you.
That's right.
And
That's how they do.
now that I'm like I say, I'm older and I'm wiser, it bothers me because now I realize what that fear did is it made me think limited.
It crippled you,
Yeah, and
in a sense.
it made me not realize the power was within me. It wasn't within a belief in a figure outside of me. The power was inside of me the whole entire time. It's great philosophers. I don't want to butcher their name, but they say, as the thinker, life will prove. You know what I'm saying?
But see, you know why though?
What's up?
Let me say something.
What's
Like,
good?
and I said this earlier. It's like nature, the universe, life is God.
Yes.
Life is God in the sense that it's all about perception. When good things happen, God did it. When
Life
bad
is
things
God.
happen,
Yeah.
the devil did
Yeah.
it. But like I said earlier, women are the givers, the natural givers of life.
Mm-hmm.
And
But-
you notice we live in an inverted society now. But so we don't associate white supremacy with religion.
I know, but it's so real with that.
That
It's so
was the
synonymous.
biggest tool
It's so synonymous.
for colonialism,
Bro.
for Europeans coming out of Europe.
Bro.
They didn't just run up on
Bro.
indigenous, Aboriginal people when
Bro.
they traveled these lands and just
Nah.
was busting people, stabbing people, robbing them, raping them. They got them psychologically, and that's
Yes.
why I put
Yes.
pimping in
Yeah.
the middle of this
Because
conversation.
it's all pimping. It's all
because it's
pimping.
all psychological.
Yes, man. Yes. And hold on. And you know what? What I like to add to the religious people is
that
once you do your research, you're
Donald
really,
Trump holding the Bible. If Donald Trump holding the
Donald
Bible,
Trump.
I don't want
who
to
gonna
do
vouch
it.
for it?
Nigga. Well, look, what I want to tell people is
Crown
once you
Central.
do your research, you'll realize that Jesus Christ is a remix. The story was told 11 times before. It was told by Horus in Egypt, which was more so our people. He did the same miracles. His mother's name was Mary. It's the same shit. And before that, it was told 10 times before. You just gotta do your research to
But
understand.
hold on. Let's not go that far though. Like, you know what? Like, I think we exaggerate in a sense. Like if you understand, or a person understands nature, in life in regards to it being God, we would respect women way more. You know, the way that women, like I saw a documentary a couple years ago where it showed the way that a fetus grows from literally a fetus to a baby, you know, in 9 months to where it's born,
Right.
and the different forms it takes to where it's shaped like animals, it looks like animals. But at the same time, not even go to that deep into nature, the fact that we don't think that women are stronger than men.
But
and women
Definitely are.
And women
That
carry
come-
babies.
That come from
Definitely are.
psychological
It's
training.
That's
Yeah,
pimping,
yeah.
Slim.
But you know
There's
what?
No way.
But
There's
to add
no
on to
way.
that, bro, if we even knew that, we would respect the relationship between man and woman more. Because like I told
Yeah.
y'all outside, the
And
connection,
vice versa, right.
Yeah, the connection between man and woman is the stairway to the God power. You know what I'm saying? But that's why religion always has some sort of restriction to that.
But you know,
They limiting you.
it's from a masculine standpoint. Like a woman
It
has
is.
to submit
The whole
to a man.
submissive
Yeah.
thing,
But
yeah.
like you know what I asked? You know what's crazy? Somebody real close to me, right? Was an alpha woman, right? But she was so spiritual. I mean, so religious that she felt like her alpha woman was wrong. She felt like she tried to elevate her man to be an alpha man, but I had to tell she was conflicted. It was a conflict because she was going against her true nature, trying to push this guy to be more alpha than she was, but she was by nature in her upbringing, she was the alpha. So I told her, look, your whole little mental construct about this comes from religion. You break that shit down and be you, and your relationship gonna be fine.
gonna be
And when
okay.
she did that, that's when she started saying, you know what? It's something to this spiritual shit you talk about. I'm about to look into this. And now she does the same thing as our caller niche said. She take a little bit from the Bible, she take a little bit from this, and she create her own reality. And that's the thing I be trying to tell people: be the God of your own reality.
Yeah.
Don't believe in what somebody told you, man.
Great
Do the
closing.
research. Do the research and then be the God of your own reality.
I got one more thing to say.
God.
Reality.
of
I
Real
like
shit.
that.
Real shit. I'm gonna say real shit all day.
Well, let's let the lady say something else, man, because I know I got one thing I want to say. before I go.
What's good, ladies?
You got it.
I mean, I like how you close it out, to be the God of your own reality.
I love that.
I can do that every now and then.
Because it's like you say in the Bible, people, you go to different churches and they word it the way they want to word
The way
it.
they want to word it.
They preach the way they want to preach,
Mm-hmm.
and it's confusing.
To
It's
say the
very
least.
confusing.
To say the least, yeah.
Yeah. And then you get to, you go to church and they're preaching and they're saying, well, you're not supposed to judge, but that's the first thing you do is judge on how somebody looks,
Yeah.
how
yeah.
somebody speaks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it angers me because I'm a woman of love.
There you go. Okay.
And I'm a woman of love. I'm a woman of a spiritual woman.
Talking
and
now.
I believe. I can't get into church, even though I have gone to church and I tried to. It's hard for me to stay
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because I don't like what I see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not there. I'm not gonna judge no one.
No, I don't know.
You be who you are, but
Yeah.
I have to remove myself from that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
ain't
but-
nothing wrong with that. Hey, look,
And that's all I have
you ain't
to
doing nothing wrong. Trust me.
I just,
Right. You ain't
I'm
hurting
a woman
yourself.
of
Trust me.
love, and
Yeah.
First lady.
yeah,
I like how Joe closed that.
Okay. Okay.
yummy, yum, yum.
I would say, even though I grew up Christian,
Mm-hmm.
my pastor did always preach to question and research things for yourself.
Definitely.
And for those who are avid Christians, I don't even want to say, I don't know, I can't even word it. Like, I have so many mixed feelings between spirituality and religion.
Yeah,
It's
you-
crazy.
you saying
But
that.
just question whatever you have questions for. Like, research things that you
Yes.
don't understand.
Yes.
And make sure that it
Absolutely.
makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you do go to church, if the pastor says something that doesn't make sense to you,
Mm-hmm.
look it up for yourself. And I was always taught that. So I would go off of that. Just trust your instinct, research things, and make sure it makes sense to you and your lifestyle.
research,
Yeah.
research.
That's the message.
Because knowledge is in the
It's
book.
it's power.
Knowledge
It's
is
power.
power. Well, I'm your girl Egypt.
Hold
We-
on,
well,
hold on,
we-
hold on,
we-
hold
we-
on.
we
I
got-
got
We got like 10
something
minutes,
to say.
dog. What y'all niggas, y'all better stop tripping.
I got
You
something
know
to
what?
say.
I be forgetting sometime, Craig.
Yeah, because we started late, nigga. We got 10
We
minutes.
did
nigga.
start late.
Yeah,
Do we
yeah.
have any more callers?
Nah, we will, but go ahead.
It's
huh?
all good.
Speak-
This is a touchy
It is
subject
touchy.
topic.
It is.
But this is what I'm gonna say. Like,
I like that. Religious sends your mind energy,
yeah, that's the joint I sent. Yeah.
and
So,
spiritual sends your mind inward.
to me,
Spiritual
what I'm gonna
inward.
say to any and everybody is like,
Sends energy and praise inward.
don't dig it in too deep from an understanding standpoint. Like, don't wait until you die to figure out if heaven or hell was real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm
A little
saying?
too late by that point.
Lord, I
right?
repent.
Yeah.
A little too late.
You know, like, I was talking to, you know what I'm saying, Joe about like I ain't gonna put shit on blast too much, but like when you wake up in the morning, that's a miracle.
Oh Lord, yes it is.
Everybody doesn't survive all day, every day.
Mm-mm.
When you text messaging and you look up and you hit the brakes and you don't hit that car in front of you,
Almost hit that curve.
it ain't, you ain't have to get on your knees and pray for that. Like, understand what life is about. Like, bad things happen to good people, good things happen to bad people.
And
It's
it ain't
life.
God's
it's
fault.
the cycle of life.
Yeah.
I
But
said, God,
Life
why?
in the universe is God. So, but this that's how I view it. I'm not pushing my views on anybody else. All I'm saying is I want people to gain the understanding of life, and the only way you do that is by seeking information.
Definitely.
You cannot take no shortcut to
Nah.
understanding.
No,
You cannot
no.
take no shortcut
No,
where you
you
just
can't.
this man talking cash shit, I'm gonna believe in him.
Right,
Umar
right.
Johnson. This man taking cash shit.
He said,
Uh,
"Oh my God."
Going on, Umar. Going on,
Don't get
Umar.
it twisted. Don't get it twisted. There are enlightened, conscious preachers, just like there are religious preachers,
hustlers.
and hustlers in a building that you go to every Sunday.
Half of them come from jail.
If
No.
you want to improve
wrong,
on
that's
yourself as a
I'm just
person,
kidding.
you have to work on it. You have to
Ordained
watch what you
ministers.
eat. You have to work out. You have to study information. Ain't no shortcuts to this shit.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Nope.
you can't pray over chitlins, man.
Man, but you know,
Get outta here.
you know what I
Have
want
a
to
Good
big
say.
ass slab
analogy.
of
But you know what
pork.
I want to say? I want to tell people off the jump, dog. Like, energy, your spirit is energy, and energy doesn't die. Y'all got if you knew that, if you did research, you understand that energy doesn't die. It just transfers. So when
Be
you're
solid all the time.
So when you leave this body, your energy is either going to come back to another time or it's going to go somewhere that we don't know. But it's not over. It's not
Hold
over.
up, but at
It
the
is
same
not. I
time,
feel that
maybe
I'm
if
going to
you
be into
if you a
another
bad
universe.
person,
It's going to
then-
go somewhere it's fucked up.
No,
You-
no, no. It came from that place.
Hey,
You can fix it while you alive.
but you know what? But you
Yeah,
can't
fix
say that
that.
because white supremacy done made a lot of motherfuckers evil.
But hold on.
That wasn't
So,
born evil.
So
you
if
feel
that's
me?
if
I
that,
just had to throw that out there.
now I'm gonna say one thing though, and
Uh-huh.
this is one thing I do not like about religion is the fact that you can pray to forgive everything. See, what I don't want to do is go to heaven with a band that prayed for forgiveness on his last day.
on his
he
dying
was a
bed.
pedophile.
Yeah,
pedophile.
yeah.
Or
You
he
know,
was a snitch.
That's
don't
what I
think
was
that's-
taught,
Nah.
though.
Yeah, I was
That's
too.
what I was
No.
taught.
I was too. Nigga on
You
his
can
dying
live
bed.
your life however you want it, and
On
as
your
long
dying
as you was
bed.
on your dying
Yeah.
bed, you asked God
That's
for
the
forgiveness. You
difference
was going to
between
That's
heaven.
that
religion
unaccountable
And
bullshit.
Yeah.
spirituality
Yeah,
right
man,
there.
I'm
I
telling
don't
y'all.
You a
That's
sucker,
crazy.
you a sucker.
I'm
If
telling
you
you.
a stand-up
Yeah.
dude, you a stand-up dude. Your spirit ties with you.
right. That's what I be
I
telling you.
believe that's what they say, but I don't believe that actually really happens because
Nah.
it's too late. Some things are just too late.
Nah,
That's,
but
it's no
just too
see
late.
where there's no accountability.
'Cause
There's no consistency
The
in
devil
truth.
will pull
Nah.
you down.
If you can always be forgiven for your sins, then that means you can do anything.
You
The
can
only
fuck up all
sin
your life.
that I was taught you're not forgiven for is suicide.
But you know
and that's
what's-
because you can't ask
But
for forgiveness
hold on.
after
Let
the
Let me say
point.
something.
Yeah.
We had a couple of weeks ago. It was a young girl, 7, 8, 9 years old,
okay.
committed suicide
It's
because
a
of
lot of
bullying.
that happening.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
talk about
So you
bullying.
gonna tell me
That's a whole nother
that
thing.
she going to hell because
But
she
not
got
even-
bullied into committing suicide?
But not even that.
She just had a lack of understanding of life. That's all it was.
But hold
Nobody
up, but not
teaching
even
her.
that. It says that though, T. But in the Bible, if I remember correctly, Samson, he went out on some suicide bomber shit. Like, the nigga pushed the last pillar that he was blinded. He, you know what I'm saying? Delilah
That's
cut his
true.
head. He pushed the last motherfucking pillar that took everybody out, including himself.
That's true.
And the nigga was right there in heaven with God.
That's
So what I'm
true.
trying to tell y'all is do your research and understand that. And you know what I want to throw out there before we roll out? Because it's a lot of words that motherfuckers do not understand. And if I can enlighten somebody about some words y'all don't understand, I want to be that. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't no master or nothing. I'm just always trying to learn. And like I say, Lucifer means light bearer, light bringer. You know what I'm saying? And
flip.
And then
He
on
was
top
an
of
angel.
so and then what I'm talking about is
Tell him about Illuminati.
illuminate
time for that. We ain't
illuminate
got
is
time
the
for that.
light.
That's another show.
I know that's another show, but I be trying to.
Nah.
That's
It's about
another show.
etymology.
Cause these
That's another
motherfuckers,
show.
we
We
gotta.
are the illuminated ones,
Yo,
man. It's not no
yo.
secret
I'm-
society
We
of
got-
Illuminati.
nah.
They created it.
Hey, look, don't be afraid to
That's
learn.
just your melanin popping off the light. You can see it right
Dog,
now.
the message of today's show: don't be afraid to learn, man. Don't settle for what you was told from your parents. They ain't know no better. They did the best they could with what they was told. You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing that shit these days. I'm seeing the younger generation saying fuck religion. They doing their own thing.
But they gotta look up to us though. We gotta pass on the knowledge.
We do.
We've learned.
And we
now,
doing
I'm not
that.
talking about tradition.
Nah, fuck
I'm
no.
not telling them just
But
to
we
do
doing
what we
that.
did because we did it.
Yeah, we
I'm
doing
telling
that.
them.
We
Look,
doing
read
that.
this book.
We
Read
doing that with
it.
this show.
Read
Look into
it.
this
We doing that
John
with
Henry
this
That's
show.
Clark.
what happened
Me too.
about the
Alright.
what's his name? Tabernacle. People that
Tabernacle.
I always say his name wrong.
No more whiskey.
Come on, man.
for
Respect this
Eve.
nigga, man. Respect that nigga, man.
Tabernacle.
That nigga's a gangster, man. He stood for us. Tabernacle.
But what I was trying to say is
What's wrong with
he
you?
understood what he was doing. Other
he did.
people did not
Yeah.
understand what he was doing until
And they still
But you
hate
see
no
that-
man.
everybody else.
But you
You
see,
know,
they're not
everybody
rocking
want
with
to
him.
be
You
a
see, they're
doer.
not rocking with him. He's ostracized at this point.
Right.
But it's cool though because Cap is the
Because-
new Malcolm X. Hold on.
Yeah.
Light-skinned for
Nobody
real.
liked Martin Luther King. They didn't like Martin Luther King. They didn't like Malcolm X.
Right.
But he is something that is a symbolic.
Yeah, it's
of,
a symbol of perseverance.
Perseverance.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Okay.
But yeah.
This your girl Egypt.
Phone sex.
This is the first lady.
Cool hunter.
Yeah, cool.
Tonight
Hunter.
went
This
by
Joe
really
Ma.
fast. It was really
It
good.
went by
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
I'm glad
But
everybody.
Yeah,
we enlighten some
Listen.
people though. I feel like we enlighten some people out here.
Alright.
You know what I'm
It'll be
saying?
a part 2 or 3 to this. I mean, we
Yeah.
starting the year off
Yeah,
right. So.
yeah. Because we gonna make y'all feel real uncomfortable this year. We don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So on that note, we gonna holler at y'all. Y'all be easy until next week, folks.
Yeah,
Crown
we'll see you
360.
next week.
We out.
All right.
Good night.
Blessings.
I gotta pee like a motherfucker, okay? Don't you dare. You better hurry up.